Hi, my name is Tammy Vo. I'm originally from South Vietnam. I live in the village that most of us is Catholics. Going to church, have to go to church every week. And on Sunday night, we have to attend the adoration. You cannot skip one. You probably get killed by your parents if you skip one. You know, when you were young, you don't feel like this is ridiculous. Why I have to go to church every week and rosary every morning and at night. And as a teenager, all you want is just live. You don't want to pray. Why praying so much? But it's the thing Mama know. The one thing with me is when growing up, I was a big fan of Mama Mary. But at my church is Saint Teresa. And so before you get into the church, it's a big statue of Saint Teresa. And every time when I came to church, I always say hi to Saint Teresa. And then I went and visit the shrine of Mama Mary. So it just, really involved in the church with the youth group. And then here come when the Saigon fell. The day is April the 30th, 1975, when it's the day that we never forget. That is when the North took over the South. And on that day, it's just a chaos. This is really sad. So a lot of my friends live in the country, and I really don't want to leave my mom. But, all my friends are living, and I told my mom that I gotta go. And my mom said, don't go. But said there's nothing here for me. I actually tried to escape from Vietnam, I think 7 times. And I got put in jail 1 time. And a couple of times that it just really close to get captured, but we didn't. But there one time in particular that I be able to left the country. So this is the story that my boat. In my boat was 86 people, men and women and children. They just tell us to jump on the boat, and we did. And then it's about 5 minutes ride into the big boat. And that when we get into the boat, and we just wait for everybody to come on board, and we left. And the engine was good, and we just left. And a few hours later, I heard the gunfire, That when we realized that they are after us. The Viet Cong is after us, the Coast Guard after us, but we be able to escape. And we crossed the border of Vietnam and Thailand. Now we in Thailand ocean. So we are safe, and because there are no Viet Cong now. So we in the Thailand Ocean, Pacific Ocean. So a day later, my boat, the engine wasn't working anymore. They tried to fix it, and it's not working. So we just floating in the ocean. And the second night, there is a fisherman Thai came to our boat, and they search everything. They very mean. They yelling and screaming, and they search for gold. But before that, because my sister already left the country, so she know what it's like. So when she wrote the letter home, she told me, if I get in the bowl, just put the oil from the bowl into your face. So you look ugly. You don't look attractive. And I have no idea why she told me that, but I did. I didn't know anything until after the fact. Then I realized that they raped a few ladies in the back. And those young girls, it's about 14, 15-year-old, beautiful. So after the fact, then I realized that they suicide. They just jumped down to the ocean. This is really sad. This is real. I was so naive when I grew up. I just wasn't, I don't know. But that time is real. And then so we just keep on floating. And then here come another Thai, fisherman Thai came and then searching. And here come another one. And at least 2 a day. Try to get the gold. And I have a bar of gold, which I folded very small. And I have honey tangerine with me and some oranges. And so when I suck the tangerine, and then I have the shell, and I put the gold in that shell. And I put it in the plastic bag, which is my torn up bag. And I have no idea how I did it. But I did, and it looked gross. Nobody really want to touch though. So my goal is still intact. And I have some of other food, like, we prepare sugar and lemon candy, homemade. But they stole all my food. That's the only I have, it's just the tangerine. And in the bowl, no water, no food, nothing. So we keep on going 3 days and 4 days. And I think the 4th day is another thing that in the middle of the day, the fisherman Thai came over to the boat. And they have, the maximum they have is like 4 people. They came over, they shouted in their language, and then they tried to get the girl. They asked us, some of us go into the cabin, and then they have the girl there, and they rape them in front of us in the middle of the day. And one after the other. We just there. We cannot help it, but just look at it. And the thing is, all the men in my bowl didn't do anything. It just looking at it, and this lady crying. Oh, it's terrible. It's just really hard. So after that ordeal, they went back to their boat, and we go on with our journey. And then another boat came, and it's happened again. And I think the 5th night, there is the boat. And that boat came to our and asked us to go up to their big boat. And they said that they're gonna rescue us. So they asked us, everybody go into their boat. I didn't feel good about it, but obedient. So we have to leave our bowl and go into their bowl. And you know what? In the afternoon, they asked us to sit around their bowl, and I saw that it's in their cabin. They spotted, they looking at us. And then at night, they got their flashlight and they pull out the girl that they spotted back into our bowl. It's about 7 girls. And they wrapped them there. And they were yelling and screaming. And the man that sits right next to me, he had a daughter with long hair. And he said that he whispering in my ear. And he said, they took my daughter. And I was holding his hand and silent. I couldn't say anything. Don't know what to say. And then after an hour later, they told us to go back to our bowl. So basically it's a hoax. It's not real. So we went back and we jumped over to our bowl. There is 7 or 8 girls were just laid out there. The smell is terrible. And they look so tired. So we just go on again. And I think that was the 6th night, or the 6th day, 5 night. So we just go on with our journey with no engine, we just floating. And then on that afternoon, I think it's 5 night or it's 5, day 5 or day 6, and we just flowing. And then one time, the ocean was so calm, and we have a lot of seagulls, flying around. And everybody would just jump down to the ocean and take a shower. I didn't take a shower. I didn't do anything. I just looking at them. And on that night, I was dreaming that I saw Mama Mary. It's only in the back. I didn't see her face. She wear a veil, and that's why I know that Mama Mary. She wear a veil, and then on top of her head is the calendar, and only number 19. And in my head, I realized that this is the day that you landed. You go into the soil. And so I share with the people in my bowl. And the people in my bowl were just really cursing. I mean, they cursed. They cursed since we just left the bowl, and they curse every day. Every single word they curse. But I realized that, in my head and in my heart, I never stopped praying Hail Mary. Even when I talk to you, Hail Mary is in my head. I listen to you, but Hail Mary is I always pray Hail Mary. And so I share with the people, I said, there's hope, because this is what I dream of, right? I think that was the 5th night. And I'm a big dreamer, and I always hope. It's so, then let's go on again. We're back to normal. The pirates came and raped the people. There's so many that, you see in front of your face. Let me go back a little bit. The one thing that it's saving me, there is the lady that who pregnant, and she have a daughter, maybe about 2 years old, and her daughter is wearing red shirt, but then for some reason she was just so attached to me. We are very bonded. So I just hold her and sleep, and she always in my arm. And I was just really confident, with her there. And then I think that is 6 days, 7 days in the ocean. And in the morning, maybe about 10, 11 o'clock, there is the boat camp. And they ask us if we need anything. They give us meal and ice. It's fresh meal and ice. Oh my, it's so good. It's delicious. You haven't been eating for so long, and now you have that. It's so good. It's so sweet. The meal, very sweet. So we all eat and share. And so we share in what we've been through. And they said that what if we go into the land when we are at the shore, they have no money. They don't have, a lot of them don't have any relative. But I told them that I have my sister there. Don't worry, we'll make it, because I will ask my sisters to send the money so we all can live. And I have some people, they asked me to be their god sister and god brother, and so it's just really a good community together in there. I mean, even though we've been through so much, we saw so many horrible things, but we have us together. And so I reassure them that don't worry, when we get into the land, we'll help in this order. And I have, the way to help, because I know that I have gold. I still have a bar of gold, so, we can sell it and we can live. And we are twin and sharing and really happy. And then about 3 hours later, here come another boat. And this boat came, and they jumped over, and they said, do you guys need anything? And at this time, the lady in my boat, she know how to speak a little Thailand, but she didn't. Finally, she spoken to them in Thailand, and she said that I don't need anything from you, just leave us alone. They got so mad with her. They got the machete and they cut her throat. And the blood was just all over, and then they threw her into the ocean. And she left behind with the 2 sons, about 10 and 12. This is within half an hour happening. And then after that, they searching in the boat, and they asked us to go up into the cabin. And the lady who pregnant and the daughter that I was holding, she was just right next to me. And they asked her to go up, and she was a little resistant. And I whispered to her, I said, just listen, just obey them. Listen to them, just go. Unfortunately, when she went up, they stabbed her in the forehead. It's just right here. And I can see the blood is coming down from her face. I'm observing, but I pray Hail Mary. It's Hail Mary. And then after, just a momentarily, they jump back to their boat, and shortly after, they backing up so fast, and I thought that, okay, they be leaving, but then they forward their boat, and they just hit our boat. I only experienced one hit, one big hit, and that's it. And then I heard that they say goodbye. They say goodbye. In my head, I didn't think that they would leave us. But because it's such a chaos and you really don't know what the thing to do. At that time, I realized that we're in the ocean. The boat was sunk. And they waved goodbye. And I realized that, my little girl that I was holding, I tried to spot her and I saw it. But I couldn't get to her because there's so many bodies around it. And so I was just floating. So I saw a little sandal, like the slipper. At that time, it's huge. It's so big. So I wrapped on to one of it. And then I was floating. And then I saw a wood. So I wrapped it. And then the man floating next to me, and he said, "This is my wood. It's my bow, it's my wood." So he just wrapped it for me. Okay, so I'm back with the slipper. And then I saw another wood that, it's smaller, but it's just a single piece of wood. So I hold on to it. And it just floating, and I saw a man. They just got married with his wife. They got married so they can leave the country. And he told me that she died. He was the one who wanted me to be the god sister. He didn't have anything to hold on, so I have the wood, so I gave it to him. I said, "Here, you hold this." And then a moment, it just shortly, I heard somebody told me, to hold on to the body. And I did. And so I just hold on to it. And then the sun just go down. Soon I didn't see any sunset or anything like that. I just keep on floating. I didn't swim or anything like that. I just floating, hold the body and floating with Hail Mary. And I just keep on floating and floating. And you see a little light from the Coast Guard. I didn't ask for help. I didn't call for help because it's so far away. So the whole time I did not stop praying Hail Mary. And then there are times that small fishes came and sniff my stomach and things like that. And I was just catching the fish, and the fish were just swimming away. And at one time I feel like the fish were just laughing. It's just like really joyful. And that is really give me the energy. And so I just hold the fish tail, and then it's swimming away. And then I was in the Girl Scout, so I can tell by what kind of star, when the star that appear and what time is around that time, right? So there's one star that I know is a 3 o'clock star. It's really bright. And so I know that it's around that time. And then I heard the noise. So at that moment, there is another 2 ladies also swimming along the side, but we did not know. And then we just floated maybe an hour. And then one of the lady asked me, did you see the snake? And I actually saw the snake. It just swimming past me. I didn't say anything. I saw the snake. And at that time, there are no fish around me anymore. I just saw this. And the ocean at night, everywhere you go, it's just like a sparkle. And there are certain places, it's really sparkle. Everywhere you go, it just sparkle. It's just like in the Disney movie. It's just really cool. And so I didn't answer her. And then later on, she told me that she got a snake bite. And she couldn't live. So then we end up only two of us. And this one, she a little bit older, and she holding the wood. And so she told me that I'm so tired. It's just a moment, theory. I don't know exactly the time, but it's just really short period of time. So she said goodbye to me. And she said that this is my address. She lives in Saigon. And she said, when you get into the land, can you write to my family that I die? And I said, okay. But I'm sorry that I don't remember the address. And at that time, I say goodbye to the lady that I was holding the whole night. I say goodbye to her, and I said, you're a little bit heavy for me, so I need to say goodbye. And so I hold the body that she just passed away. So I hold her body, and I hold her wood. So my left hand is her wood, and my right hand is her. So I hold her. And I'm very weak too. I hold her, and you know what? It's just really heavy. It just a few minutes later, I told her that you're too heavy for me, and I'm so weak. So I have to say goodbye. And so, I let her body go. And I go back with the wood. And at that time, I probably take a nap or something, but I was dreaming of my mom. I was dreaming that I opened the refrigerator and my mom gave me a coconut and I drink it. And it feels so good. It's so good. It's a lot of energy. I wake up, I'm still in the ocean. And I couldn't cry because I don't have any tear. Just all around me, it's just water. And then after that, I just float in and go on. And then at one time, there is the dark cloud. It's just like now when I watch the Star Wars, it's like the space and it's so close. And the wind, it's just like the wind around me. And I think that at that time, I was most scared during the whole night. In my head, I thought the alien would probably gonna pick me up or something. That's how scary I was because the wind and it's like hurricane. It just circle, and then it's rain. So when it's rain, I was trying to open my mouth to get some rainwater because I was really thirsty. But all I had is just the salty water, the ocean water. And then after the rain, and then there is the ray. The dark circle, and then there the ray. It's really bright on each side. It's just a ray of light, and in the middle it's dark. And then the ray of light, it's like a circle of the dark cloud, and it's so close to my head. And then here the ray, and it's like, after the rain, it's the sun. And then it just very quickly is gone. It disappears. Keep on going with my wood and under the water. And then at one time, maybe about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still floating with my wood. I haven't seen anything, I haven't seen the ocean way too much because it's still dark. And then momentarily, I saw a beautiful sunrise from under the ocean. The color is perfect. It's just beautiful. And so I was just looking at the sunrise, and that is just really, it's something happening. I really enjoy observing and looking at the sunrise, that it go up from under the ocean, under the water, and then it goes slowly up to the water. Beautiful, perfect color. And then over the water, the sun would just keep it so perfectly round circle of the sun. And it's go up and up and up into a perfect circle on top of the water. But my head is always a Hail Mary. And then I was just enjoying it just for a moment, and then here comes the sun. And the sun would just go a little bit up from the water. And at that time, there's nothing for you to enjoy. The color, beautiful color, is gone, and you see the sun. And then I look around it, and now I see all the water and the wave, and a lot of debris around me, and I was terrified. This is when the reality really kicked in. Because when the boat was sunk and I was in the ocean, at that time it's the sunset, so I did not have much time to observe. And then at night, and now it's the whole night in the ocean. And at this moment, I was terrified. I was just by myself with the wood. But I remember I asked Mama Mary, I told her, I said, I know you still love me. And if you still love me, have somebody come and pick me up, because I don't think I live any longer. And you know what? The whole night, I did not ask her. I only say Hail Mary. But at that time, I just asked her. And you know what? Within probably 5-10 minutes, I heard the noise, the bow. I heard the noise of the bow. And so I wait for the wave to lift me up. I saw the bow came direct to me. And I wait for the wave to lift me, so I wave my hand. And I only be able to do it one time because I'm so weak and my hand is all wrinkled. And I'm just really tired, no strength anymore. The boat came and they throw the floating to me. I couldn't wrap it. So one of the guys in the boat came and pulled me up into their boat. And they pulled me up. They give me a blanket wrap around me. And they give me a little medication to drink. And within 15 minutes, my body was warm. And then they give me a little water. And they told me I'd be able to speak a little bit of Chinese, then. And they told me these people know how to speak a little bit of Chinese also. So we be able to communicate in Chinese. And he told me that he cannot give me too much water. I have to drink a little at a time. And so I did. And they were such a nice people. There are 3 people in that boat. And so, they pulled me up and they told me that they are on the way home. And they never go this way before. But for some reason, they just feel like they go this way. And when they saw a little spot, a little thing there, so that's why they just approach it on that way. And they told me that they're on the way home. So this way it's longer to their house, but we'll go back home the day after. So that evening, they cooked for me. And they opened their bowl and they showed me all the fish that they catch. And they asked me to point it which one I want to eat. And so they cooked so much fish and shrimp, and the food was so delicious. It's so sweet. And so I just ate, and then they give me a little cabin, the captain cabin, that I can sleep in there. It's the same people that who are wrapping all the people that into my boat, cutting their throat. They are fishermen Thai, but they're good. It's human. It's good people, bad people. But I encounter with the good people, and so they picked me up. They fit me, and they told me that they're gonna bring me to their house. And at that time, you're dealing with 3 guys. It's a little scary, But I'm praying Hail Mary. I have Hail Mary. So I just keep on doing, and I would just look outside when the boat on the way to their house. I just looking, in the water to see if I can see anything, I can spot anything. And I think I was still shocked, so I didn't realize what really happened. And then the day after, we arrived to their house. As soon as they get into their porch, they was yelling and screaming so loud, and everybody, the neighbor and the family, just came to outside and to the shore and looking at me. I feel like I'm just like an alien, And so they were just pointing at me and, looking, and then their wife also came and greet me, and they say something in Thailand, in their language. And so the wife took me to the room and, like a bathroom, and then give me some clothes and give me shoes for me to wear. And then they took me to their house, and I stayed there. And then they notified the Songkla refugees camp, and I was there for like 2-3 weeks, and they sent a bus, and they brought me to the refugee camp. During the time that I stayed, one of the fishermen who picked me up from the boat, he told me that they spotted about 56 bodies on the shore. It's about an hour from there. And he asked me if I want to see, to identify if I know anybody. And the wife of the captain did not allow me to go outside the village because they afraid that I got kidnapped. So I didn't go, and I just wait. And then before I left, they prepared for me so much rice. They give me like 50 pounds of rice, 2 bags of 50 pounds, and they give me $200 in dollar money. And they give me a bag of Adidas with all jeans and t-shirt and clothes for me to go to the refugee camp. I didn't want to take the money and rice because, no, it's okay. But they just told me to take it. So I took it. But as a single person, you really don't miss much. So I just share with the people in the refugee camp. And when I get there is the director of the women's center there, and she American, and her name is Carol. She's a really nice lady. So she came over and she told me to go with her because we have the women's center. And then the day after, I went with her to stay at the women's center, and it's safe there. So I stayed there. And then the next day, Father Joe Delvin, he was in Vietnam, and he helping the people in Vietnam to leave the country before the Saigon fell. So he came into the refugee camp almost every day in the morning, doing mass and teaching English. So he asked to see me. And so I came and I saw him. And he gave me $50. And I didn't take it. I said, no, I don't want it. And he said, this is the first refugees refill his money. And I said, Father, I don't need money. I have money already. And then after, I think a few days later, I think ABC on the British radio station, they came and interviewed me. And I just came in and sees it. And, it's just like different country and different land. And in the refugee camp, I have no idea who interviewed me or whatever. I thought that, this is something that you just have to do. So I went into the room, and it's a very small office, and they interviewed me and they asked me questions. And then, I answer all the questions. And then after, when I get out, and I saw so many people in front of the office and were just asking me and talk to me and things like that. And so I realized that is the ABC radio station would just interview me. Yeah. And at that time, my niece in Vietnam, she listened to the radio, and it's the forbidden. You cannot listen to ABC because it's the correct news. But she listened to it, and she, at that time, she shared with my mom, and they realized that I was alive. Because it's so long, it's like a month, I didn't hear anything about this boat. They have no idea. And a month later, they heard on the ABC that I am a soul survivor. in the boat with 86 people, and they all died. It's only me survive. And you know what? I don't know why. The only thing I know that Hail Mary, because I didn't do anything. I'm powerless. It's just Hail Mary, because I know for sure the Hail Mary from I get down to the boat, and Hail Mary when I get down to the ocean, swimming, floating. It Hail Mary is she saved me.